All right, so that's cool that you're, at least still down with them. Because I was actually curious about it because I realized that you don't really. But I guess that makes sense though, since you're not really nearby them anymore. Um,
But
but at least you're still cool with them though, because I do remember. I already
yeah,
said this. I do remember seeing in I think it was 2017, December of that year, you were actually
yeah.
in the car. You were interviewing him, like you mentioned, and I remember like him, like he looked pretty cool. And I remember you guys were like, because I think his album was your album of the year of 2017, right? Because I think you guys were
Yeah.
also talking
I was
about the you guys were talking about Revival and stuff like that, and you said it was cool, but you
right.
said it just wasn't like as good as like the previous M
Yeah.
albums, and he also agreed. He's like, yeah, it was cool, but it was just like, it's different from what you usually expect from Eminem. But that's cool though that you guys
Right.
are still um,
Mhm.
clicked like that. Because I even seen some videos where you're reacting to some of the rappers on his label, I think, or something. Like there's
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but it's something live. I don't know if they're like related or not. They probably are because they have like
Cruddy.
the same
Cruddy Live, his
Karate Live.
son.
That's the guy. That's the guy. Yeah, Kareem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Kareem Ali is who you mentioned. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
seeing some of that. Are you okay? So obviously, I'm just like bullshitting with this question. Are you a political person? Are you into politicians?
I hate both Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, this is you can
I
tell
had
that
a song.
you can tell I just
I
ran
had a
out of
song.
questions with this.
I had a song called Shadows where I talked about sniping the head off of Biden.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I remember. I think I remember hearing that. Sorry, hearing something about that. Yeah. All right. Spending time in the mental hospital. What was? I know this is probably a stupid question, but what was the experience like?
I mean, I've been to a couple mental hospitals. I know, pretty much, I met some people there who now I got a court case against because she was kind of loco.
Mm.
But yeah, it's just pretty much, you don't get a phone. You pretty much just, you get 3 meals a day. You get like a phone, like not like a pay phone, but like one of those old school phones that you have to type numbers in, and then pretty much TVs go off at 11. They got like a retro game system, a Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but pretty much, yeah, it's just you're doing nothing. Like you don't get any YouTube and you don't get like to use your phone, so it's mostly just journaling or watching TV or doing retro gaming until like 11. So,
Man, that's like
and
one
then
way.
there's groups and stuff.
That's one way to get somebody mentally just not correct, because you're just like, I don't know if I should bring this up, but I remember seeing this video that you made. I don't know if you deleted it or not, but it was you with like you were like recording yourself like in like a room, just like stomping and going crazy, and then there's like people yelling in the background. I don't know if you remember that. I don't
Oh,
know
that
if
was
that.
at school.
Oh, that was at school. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like,
I had threatened another student and they put me in, it's called the seclusion room. So it's just a room with like padded walls and stuff.
that that okay. Okay, that makes sense because I was like, man, that looks like a mental hospital, but I wasn't sure. But okay. Will we ever see Billy Barz go on tour in the future, a national or perhaps maybe a world tour?
I want to do that, but I don't know if I'm like big enough to do that. And that's the thing.
Do you know if
Like most
Billy?
of my,
Do you know if Billy Live has ever done that, like go on a national tour across the states or nah?
yeah, he has. He's been to like not far, far, but like he's
Like
been
like
to,
the surrounding states, like New York, Virginia,
yeah, he's been to
probably.
DMV, like New York, Maryland, DC. Um, so. Yeah, like I could do that. Like I could see what Billy Law is doing and like, but yeah, pretty much it's just trying to figure out like, where I could perform and stuff. I don't think I'm be going far away from the States, but like I could
Mm,
go around like the DMV. I know Billy Lie's also been to Virginia, so
Would you ever perform in Europe?
I never been there before, so
But would you ever
it'll be
would you ever perform there? Because Europe is known for like its very eccentric and like out there crowds. Like they go crazy, more wild than
I could
U.S. crowds.
I could see, yeah, because
Yeah.
I know definitely like Europe and
Mm,
stuff. They
mm,
even when wrestling comes, like they have a bigger fan base than
mm.
well, not bigger fan base, but they're more lively than the U.S. crowd. So
Yeah. Hey, you've been to a couple wrestling events, right? I remember seeing some videos where
yeah,
you go into like actual W. You were like actually you weren't up close, but you were like kind of like in like you weren't like in the back. You were like actually kind of like like up there like near the ring and shit.
right. Mhm.
Yeah, those must be really fun.
Yeah, they are.
I've never been to one, but I actually because I'm not like huge into wrestling, but I do have a couple like wrestling action figures. They're from my brothers and shit like that. But it's cool though
Right.
because like I do understand the appeal, and I even have like friends that I graduated high school with that are like into that. They're into wrestling. Um, LeBron James or Michael Jordan as the goat in the NBA.
Well, I have this hot take, and some people hate me for it, but some people might agree that Jordan played on a super team like LeBron. If
Hmm.
Jordan didn't have Pippen or Rodman, he probably wouldn't win a championship.
Hmm.
Same with LeBron. If LeBron didn't have Wade or Bosh, he wouldn't win a championship.
Hmm.
So I would say Jordan because he
Hmm.
has like the most championships,
Hmm.
but also you gotta look and take consideration that most even like um, old school players like they played on a super team
Hmm.
Kobe wouldn't be anything without Shaq um, and definitely Curry wouldn't be anything without Thompson. So
That's true, yeah. But at the same time, though, it depends on what you mean by like super team. Because usually super teams are like teams that that you kind of build from free agency. Whereas like the Warriors, like you mentioned, like Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, like they were drafted by the Warriors. The Bulls were drafted, but it was not Rodman, but because he was drafted by the Pistons. But like when Michael Jordan and Pippen, they were actually drafted by Chicago, or not Pippen. He was drafted by Seattle, but then they traded him to Chicago. And then I guess like with like LeBron, yeah, you could say because like Chris Bosh was with the Raptors and LeBron was with the Cavs, and in 2010 they went with Dwayne Wade to Miami, right? Because that's where Wade played. It's Wade
right,
County. And then LeBron did go back to Cleveland, right? Kyrie Irving, I think, was drafted by the Cavs. I don't know if he was drafted by another team, but that was his rookie year where he was drafted. And then, but they had Kevin Love, but he was drafted by Minnesota, I believe. And so it depends on what you mean by super team, but you do think that Michael Jordan is the goat, right?
yeah, I think it goes Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron, and then we'll put Steph on
Hmm.
there too. And then I guess the last one would be Larry Bird for me.
What's your
Top
favorite?
five.
Because Baltimore doesn't have an NBA team anymore, or at least I don't think they ever had. I think they probably did. I think it was the Baltimore Bullets. But what is your favorite
Well,
NBA team?
they have a big three team now.
Yeah, that's
Ice
the
Cube's big three.
that's Ice
Yeah.
Cube's league. But like in terms of like because I mean that is a professional league. It's not like as known as like the NBA. What's your favorite like NBA team since Baltimore doesn't have one? Like an actual like NBA team.
Uh, I would say any team LeBron's on, but like I also like the Wizards since
The
they're
Wizards.
close.
The Wizards. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. God, I think it was. I remember watching a video. You were playing. I think you were the Wiz. You were playing against the Bucks or something like that. I think you were the Nets or you were the Wizards or some shit. And you were playing, but then you got pissed off because Giannis Antetokounmpo, like he just like kept on doing a bunch of randoms. I don't know if you remember that, but I do remember. I do sometimes go back and watch that video because that video is actually kind of funny. Because it's like, bro, what
Yeah,
is
because
going?
I was doing a franchise and I had made like the Wizards like kind of like a I made them like a mini big three. Like I had D'Angelo Russell.
Mhm.
I don't remember who else that I had, but I had like Russell. I think I had Kevin Love on there. So
Yeah. Um, if you could get a free sucker punch on any person in the world right now, who is it? Who would you punch in the face right now? Anybody in the world right now? Who is it?
I shouldn't say this because I have a court case, but Nicole Collar,
Oh,
she
yeah.
was the person who the psych ward that went loco on me. So
All right. Should I blur that out or no?
just uh just I don't know.
You
I
know.
don't think anyone's gonna find this video.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. Didn't you say that one of your friends was like gonna watch it or something, or they were like just curious what time it started?
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah. All right. What is your favorite thing to face paint onto people or yourself? Because I know you had a fear of face paint, and I guess you can just answer this question and I'll answer and I'll give like you the next question.
all right. Um, I'll say Tiger or Clown because like those are the
Mm,
two I do the most. So
mm. Um, yeah, you had a fear of dogs and face paint. Do you wanna, you know,
yeah.
why'd you have a fear
So
of that?
pretty much um the fear started back when I was like literal because like being like young I used to be terrified of face paint and stuff and
Mm-hmm.
so I avoided um like face paint booths and stuff like that. And then in elementary school, Rob Milton, they forced me to get my face painted, and I had a hard time getting it off. So then I kept it a secret for 4 years, and then I basically kind of finally admitted it to my therapist, and we did exposure therapy and just getting my face painted at every school event, every event with Tanner and Christina, my friends from church, and pretty much, just finally, because I learned that fear leads to anger, I kind of got angry at that point and just because I still was afraid of it, so I just bought my own face paint kit and
Mm-hmm.
pretty much did it there. And so then my friend Angel, she saw something in me like doing it, so she said you could do it for like a little bit of profit because she knows I can't make too much money because of my disability and
Mm-hmm.
I'll lose my house even if I make over $2,000. But like even if it's like just $1 per design or something, and then the dogs that was my friend's dad. He had a pit bull who ran me over when I was
Ooh.
young, and so. Um, Pretty much same thing, just Tanner and Christina. I'm really grateful for them because they helped me push through that. And then that's kind of when I met their dog Sable, and pretty much just just gradually building until like we could get Sable off the leash and like where
Mm-hmm.
Sable was next to me and stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the face paint thing still. Didn't you go to like New York last year or like some you like were like you filmed some videos in a hotel because you were like at this like face painting convention or something like that or like an event where like they had face painting and you were hired to
Yeah,
do the face painting.
I was in Virginia. It was called
Nice.
Capitol Convention. I'm not going. It's every January of the new year. I'm not going next year because just with everything going on and stuff. But like, it was a cool experience. Yeah, it was basically for balloon twisters, face painters, magicians, clowns. So yeah, it was like a I think 3 or something day event. It was like from Thursday till Sunday. So yeah.
That's cool, man. Um,
Mhm.
okay, so we can bring this up because you mentioned Nostalgia Critic. What is your favorite Nostalgia Critic video?
Oh man. I like his commercial videos. They're really funny. Um, I think my favorite commercial video was he I don't remember like I said what it was called, but he did something for Wilkins Coffee. It was like
Wilkins Coffee.
one of the commercials. Wilkins Coffee, yeah, and yeah, it was just like basically an old school commercial. It was like by the same company, Jim Henson, who did the
Mm-hmm.
Muppets and stuff, and like um there was two characters, and then when one of the characters didn't want Wilkins coffee, the other one would like hurt him in some way. Either that was uh, electric chair, gunshot, stuff like that.
Hmm, that's cool. Um, Wilkins Coffee. That's actually pretty funny. Yeah, my favorite video by him is this video he did on oh, what movie was it? It's called Maximum Overdrive. It's a Stephen King movie. It's from 1986. It's like a horror movie, but like stuff in the movie, like trucks in the movie come alive. It's actually a pretty funny
Yeah.
video. It's not like, do you know who Angry Video Game Nerd is?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember like when I was too young, obviously. I was like a year old, but I remember when like Nostalgia Critic and Angry Video Game Nerd had like this big like rivalry, and then they like made this like one video where they're
Mhm.
both fighting each other. It was the funniest shit ever. Um, who's your favorite professional wrestler or wrestlers? Like, who are your favorite?
Um, I would say John Cena, Undertaker, um, Punk's up there,
CM
and
Punk,
then
yeah.
yeah, and then I guess if I had a fourth, I would say Darby Allin from AEW,
Mm,
and then pretty much just yeah, I would say that's my Mount Rushmore of favorite wrestlers.
mm. Do you like? I'm trying to think of others. Rey Mysterio. Do you like Rey Mysterio? Big Show.
The Ray's cool, Big Show's cool,
Mm. What about
Lesnar.
what about the Hulkster? Because I know he recently passed away on the 24th last month.
Yeah, I watched his rewatched a week after his passing. I rewatched
Mm.
his match with Andre the Giant because I don't I gotta get to watch some old school matches, and then
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I've been doing. I've been doing a old school match like every month. Like I think it was 2 months ago I did Austin versus Brett. Like a month
Mm.
after that I did like an Attitude Era match. And then pretty much like I said, this month I did Hogan versus Andre. So and I plan on doing one time just like rewatching a old wrestling like pay-per-view like back in the
Nice.
day. So
Mm. Um, how many concerts have you attended? Because I know you attended. You had like a VIP pass to an NF concert. Do you have any like
yeah,
other concert experiences that you've been to? Like any other concerts you went to?
I would say Billy Live and NF I've been to pretty much nothing
Mm.
really after that. I know I almost saw Eminem in Delaware, but it was just too much money, and I was going,
Mm.
and my dad wasn't like, me and my dad weren't going
Mm.
through some good stuff at the time. So,
Mm.
I almost saw Eminem. I know I almost saw Fozzy, Chris Jericho's band.
Mm.
But yeah, pretty much just I've seen NF and Billy Live. I almost saw Tech Nine. I almost
Nice.
saw 50 Cent. So.
Nice. That's cool. Um, visit. Okay, so live in, visit, or not visit. Would you visit? Okay, so I don't know how to word this question because this is just like something I came up with in my head. So New York, Detroit, and Chicago. What city would you visit? What city would you live in? And what city would you not visit? Detroit, Chicago, and New York City.
I'll live in New York because my friend lives in New York,
Hmm.
so I would stay on his couch. Um, visit Detroit and then not go to Chicago.
Not go to Chicago. Yeah, I don't know what I was gonna
Yeah.
do for the other one because I'm like when I said not visit, not mean like you're not gonna visit. You probably will visit Chicago one day, maybe I don't know. But but like New York though, that's pretty cool. How many times have you ever actually been to New York?
Yeah, I've been to New York. Yeah, I've been to not the city, but like I've been to my friend's house in New York,
In like the state, yeah.
Joe, and then I did go to Brooklyn one time when I was young. My dad, because we used to go to Connecticut and we would have to pass through
Connecticut.
New York, and my dad got lost on the way, and we arrived in like Brooklyn or something. So
Didn't speaking of Joe, because I guess he lives in New York, didn't he produce one of your songs? Like a beat, it was a beat with a
yeah, he
saxophone.
did.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, he did produce my song, one
Mm.
of my songs. Yeah,
Is he a producer himself, or he just produced those songs?
he just produces for fun.
Mm. That's cool. Um, yeah. Have you ever gotten to like production or anything like that, hip hop production or not?
Yeah, yeah, I make my own beats on Soundtrap.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, the
Uh,
next album that's coming out is gonna be like mostly beats by me. The recent song I made was a beat that I had made, so
that's cool. In December, it'll be our fourth anniversary on the Demon Sons album. Should we do another one?
yeah, we should do
We should
another
do that. We
one.
should do
And
another one.
yeah, this time just beats like we make and stuff.
Yeah, because I'm a producer myself, so I can like make some beats as well for it. I remember actually making because that was our first time ever making an album together, and
Yeah, we
honestly,
started with the last track.
we
We
I
started
do
with
remember
Christmas Dreams and then yeah.
that was the best track on that album. That's all I have to say. The Christmas Dreams one. I
Yeah,
think was it Christmas Dreams? Yeah, it was the um the Jingle Bells trap beat.
right.
Yeah, I was actually listening to that because I was just like, cause preparing for this interview like over the weekdays, right? Well, I was just like
Mhm.
looking, seeing at songs that you made, and I was listening to our Demon Sons track. I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. You also made I don't like the album because I made it. It's my day. It's not my debut. I don't really want to consider it an album anymore, but my debut album from 3 years ago, Birth of a Heartless Child. You were actually on two songs on that album.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was because I don't really want to listen to that album ever because I
It
honestly
was
like
Vampires Love. It was Vampires Love, and then
yeah, how do you
I don't rem
but
Our Psycho something.
I'm actually yeah, I'm surprised you even remember that because I don't even remember that. I do remember like the song titles as you brought them up, but I don't even remember because I just don't really revisit that because I think that album's like very it's just not good. But
Mm.
yeah, so if you had $1 million, what are the first three things you do with $1 million?
Um, buy some MLB The Show cards. And I've been doing Legos. Again, I used to do Legos when I
Legos.
was a kid, so I
Legos
would
are
say
fire. Yeah, I
buy
love Legos.
Legos and
Lego.
um pretty much like with the rest of it, just I would have to spend it on something. Um I would I would spend it on like a PSP or something. Old school
PSP.
retro.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, ooh, because this was brought up earlier because you like the both of them. I don't know if you like Machine Gun Kelly anymore, but Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem. In 2018, they obviously had that very public feud. What was your opinion on that feud between MGK and Eminem?
Um I don't think Eminem destroyed Machine Gun Kelly because he's still popular as ever.
Yeah.
I still like MGK. Still like him. I listened to his newest album that came out
Mhm.
yesterday.
Oh, really?
But I don't think Eminem destroyed him. I think MGK like, and plus if you're a really diehard MGK fan, you know he wanted to go into rock
Yeah,
more
pop rock.
than rap.
Mhm.
Yeah, so um yeah, I would say both of them. Like they both like delivered some good stuff.
Mhm.
And like
Yeah.
MGK did have some good points on Rap Devil, and
Your
Eminem
your
had
your
some good
your
points
beard is
on.
weird. That's all I remember from when he said your beard is weird, which is
No,
kind of funny.
I like the fact that he brought up Eminem's ego because a lot of Shady Records artists leave because Eminem, his ego, and just
Yeah.
recently I think it was West Side Gun left Shady Records because like Eminem wouldn't put out his album or something.
Yeah, I think Eminem. I honestly, I love. I'm not like huge onto like a lot of like. I don't know how to say this because I don't want to sound like an ass or anything like that. Eminem is dope,
Right,
but you know, if I listen to anything that's like Eminem related, it will probably be something Eminem adjacent. So like Obi Trice, 50 Cent, even like Eminem just like Eminem himself, it'll probably just be like with D12 and stuff like that because that's what I really like.
right,
You know, a lot of Eminem
mhm,
like solo stuff, especially like his first couple of albums. See, this is the thing about Eminem, right? Um, you know, I'm not as big of an Eminem fan as you are, right? But I know like people kind
right,
of like shit on Encore, right, which was his 2004 album that came out in November,
right,
and people like kind of crap on that, be like, "Oh, dude, this album sucks" and stuff like that. And I get, right, because the album was leaked beforehand, and some of the songs are just like pretty, pretty interesting. They're pretty weird because he was heavy on drugs at the time. But people don't realize is when he made that album, that was basically Eminem was like doing so much stuff during that time. He had the D12, he had the D12 World album. He had 50 Cent. He was working on his album. He had Obi Trice's. He was working on that album. He had 8 Mile, right, in late 2002 that he was working
right.
on.
Well,
In 2002 he was working on. He had the Eminem
yeah,
show. He was touring a lot. He was, you know, doing a bunch of other stuff, right? He was appearing on, you know, VMAs and like all these like, you know, events and stuff like that. So people kind of forget that Eminem was like literally grinding out, right, during that time, and that's why Encore sounds like the way it does, right? And that's why like
right,
obviously, you know, he had that overdose, right? He had like he was gone for a minute. He obviously, you know, gained a lot of weight. Obviously on April 11th, 2006, his best friend Proof passed away. You know, so like obviously all
yeah,
these like things brought up, and even though like Recovery is your favorite Eminem album, I will say though that Relapse. Have you ever heard? You know Relapse, right? I
yeah.
feel like Relapse. It's a good album, but I feel like in terms of like him coming back, because Eminem is the best-selling rapper. He's one of the best-selling musicians, period, right? But I guess in terms of like coming like a comeback album, I feel like Relapse could have just like, you know, I guess the accents are a little too weird for people, right? And I guess just in general the
Right.
album's pretty weird. But I feel like people like don't really like. I feel like if Recovery was his like comeback album, right? Because I think he describes that as his comeback album. Relapse is just like some shit. I don't know if Eminem even likes Relapse. I don't know. I don't know him or anything like that. So I don't know if he
He
likes or
doesn't.
doesn't like. He
He's
doesn't.
uh,
Okay.
he's he's went out publicly and said Relapse is worse than Encore.
Yeah, which is just kind of crazy because man, dude, Relapse is an awesome album, but I get why like, you know, some people, you know, just but you know, Recovery I'm not too heavy onto Recovery, right? If anything, I'm actually a fan of I'm a fan of Eminem's like first albums, including Infinite. I don't know if do you know Infinite? Like his actual
Yeah, I've
1996
heard
debut.
of it. I
Infinite.
didn't like Infinite. I heard it though, but I didn't
Okay,
like it.
yeah, Infinite, the Slim Shady EP, not the LP, the EP, then the Slim Shady
Right,
LP, then the Marshall Mathers LP. You know, I'm kind of indifferent on the Eminem show, though I understand that it is a good album or a great album. You know, so you know that's actually a pretty good bulk, right? And then I guess like later in his career, it was pretty. You know, he had some good tracks here on there. I will say though, the Marshall Mathers LP album, the Marshall Mathers LP 2 album from 2013 is actually a really good
yeah,
album. I think that might be Eminem's last like album that's actually like really hitting. That's really good, in my opinion.
right.
I
Mhm.
don't know if you. What are your honest opinions about Eminem's later work? Like anything from Revival to now.
Um, Revival was very up and down for me. Like some songs are really good, like Bad Husband's good. Um,
Walk on Water. Do you like Walk
I
on Water?
Believe is good. Walk on Water was okay. Untouchable was Um, I think, but like definitely Kamikaze. Like I
Mm-hmm.
went back and re-listened to that album. That album's pretty good. Besides like maybe one or two songs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Death of Slim Shady was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I go back and re-listen to that. That was a pretty good album. Music You Remember By was a pretty good album. But now it's just like I think the thing with Eminem now is he's gotta find who's gonna be the next, but not next Eminem, but like, he's getting up there in age, and I saw him,
Mm-hmm.
um, last week, or not last week, but like over the weekend, say it's been trending on Twitter and Reddit how he's gonna make albums until he dies and stuff. I'm like, no, you shouldn't do that. Like, you should like pass the torch on to someone, and then that's why I'm really high on Easy Mill. Like,
Hmm.
I think Easy Mill could be something like I compared him to Usher. Like he can rap, he can sing, he can dance. So like I think Eminem should pass the torch to Easy Mill. But the problem is Easy Mill gonna leave the label or not? Because we've seen Eminem. We think we got the next like person who Eminem is gonna pass the torch to, and then they
Uh-huh.
leave the label. So.
Yeah, the thing is, like, because you brought up EC Mill, I know he's like one of the more recent signings, because Eminem,
Right.
obviously, I mean, this doesn't obviously go just for Eminem, right? Because, I mean, he's just probably not interested in being a businessman, right? Because outside of 50 Cent, right, in, I guess, D12, because they also went platinum, but it's also because of Eminem, though,
Right.
because 50 Cent himself is a force, right? Whereas, like, D12, like,
Mhm.
even though they're all, like, pretty good, especially, I mean, they all like have their own, they're all pretty creative, right? Especially Proof, right? He was
Right.
really good. Bizarre, even though he's not like the best rapper, right? Especially in that group,
Uh,
he might be the worst rapper in that group. Actually, he is the worst rapper in that
right.
group. No disrespect to him, but because he brought his own flavor, right? He brought his own weird, like really messed up side, right? And then there's others ones like Mr.
Yeah.
Porter. He was good, especially on the production. Like that's why you see him and Eminem nowadays rocking it. You see Kaniva, Swifty, like they all brought their own thing, right? But like when you look at like
Mhm.
outside of 50 Cent, right, a lot of other like shady records like signees, like obviously like the rest of the D12, Bobby Creekwater. I'm trying to think of other ones. Even like you mentioned like West Side
Well,
Gun. Yeah.
yeah.
I think he's just like not interested in being a businessman, right? Because if you look at like
Right.
Dr. Dre, right? Because like I think it also depends on like the rapper's like personality, right? Because like if you look at like like I mentioned, like Aftermath, right, by Dr. Dre, right? He had Snoop Dogg, he had all these like other artists. He had Eminem, he had 50 Cent was signed to Shady Aftermath, right? You have all these artists, but then you also have like a Hitman, right, who was all over 2001. You have John Connor, who was all over Compton. You had I'm trying to think of who else. You had Miss Rock, 2001. You had Devin, not Devin, the dude. Nocturnal in 2001. You had all these like rappers, right, that just were signed to Dr.
Right.
Dre, but they just never really popped out because some of them just like they're not that interesting personality wise on the
Hmm.
mic, right? And the thing is with Eminem, right? I guess we can bring that back to the Machine Gun Kelly thing. Is like you mentioned, right? Like they're both still relevant. Like obviously Machine Gun Kelly, like he switched genres, right? But he's still doing pretty well. I think Ticket to My Downfall went number 1 back in 2020. I think is when the album released or something like that,
Yeah.
right? And then even Machine Gun Kelly, like even though they're not together anymore, I think he even bagged Megan Fox, right? Like how can you like be like, oh my god, I'm not like a Machine Gun Kelly fan or anything like that. I don't hate him or anything like that, but it's just like, at least like they both like I guess still like they appeal to like the mainstream palette, I guess. But hopefully I don't know how long can you I don't know how long like you're available for because we're just like talking now basically at this point,
Right.
but because we rarely talk anyways, right? But have you ever heard of what are some like other like I'm trying to think. So some of your movie reviews, right? What are some of
Mhm.
your favorite like movie reviews that you have done?
Um, I would say the new Lilo and Stitch was good.
Okay.
Um, trying to think like what. I mean, most of the movie reviews that I've done are like old school, like or movies that I have seen or movies that I haven't seen. So
Okay.
like Finding Nemo, I think I reviewed. Um, Book I know I reviewed. The Rocky movies I reviewed.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I would say those.
Okay.